What is up, everyone? Dan here. Crypto Capital Venture, December 5th, 2018. I have to find out if you can hear me. I've reset up my mic and I had to reset everything. I just want to make sure before I start. Am I too loud? Is it too soft? If there's anybody in the comments, please let me know. And I'm going to give it a few minutes to get started here. So we have one comment so far. Thank you, OU2. I appreciate it. It looks like you're the only one in here. I have to figure this out. I want to make sure this is actually streaming. OU2, did you get here through Twitter? I'm kind of curious. Okay. It's a little bit of a lag on my end. What's up, everybody? Thank you for coming by. If you're a replay viewer, you can, I guess, hit the timestamps. I'll do my best. I have to go pack after this live stream. I wanted to do one live stream before I get ready to leave. We're heading out of town tomorrow. I see some people coming into the chats. What's up, Anthony and Anna Riera? What's up, Marcos, Crypto Raven? So we're getting ready to go to California tomorrow. And I know I did a video earlier, so if you're looking for some like deeper technical analysis, go check out my Bitcoin video that I did a little bit earlier today. Might be good for you. And other than that, I did have some news that I wanted to go through. So we're going to give it a little bit, just a couple minutes to get started. So again, if you're a replay viewer, don't feel like hanging around, hit the timestamps below. I promise I will do my best to pin a nice timestamp comment for you. What's up, Edward? What's up, everybody? Carlos Garza says, where are you going? I'm going out to California to visit my brother, hang out with him and the family for a little bit. So we're looking forward to it. But yeah, I really wanted to just kind of hang out for a little bit before I get ready to go pack and do all that fun stuff. I really just, there's so much always happening in the space on social media, on Twitter. And I like to just come live sometimes to really just talk with all of you and get a sense of how you're feeling. How are you feeling? RPBE3 says, check out Lake Tahoe when you're in Cali. What's up, James at the water cooler? What's up, Walter? Edward Park, what's up? One of the first I watched. I love it. Thank you, man. What's up, Abdul? Cool. So I guess what I'll do is I'll just get started. Well, let's just talk a little bit about some things that I was reading over today, because I really want to put it out there. It speaks a lot to my approach to the market. So essentially, that's really why I'm covering it. So this first article I came across today on Bitcoinist.com. New data shows Grayscale Fund quietly buying Bitcoin now controls 1% of supply. John Kim, what's up? My bro. Dude, I can't believe I'm going to be in California, and I think are you on the East Coast still? I'm going to be on the West Coast. I hope we can hang out soon, man. So here we go. Grayscale has 1% of Bitcoin circulating supply. While 2018 continues to be a challenging year for cryptocurrencies, some big money players are taking advantage of lower prices to increase their virtual currency holdings. I got a little peek. I saw Poseidon Lewis in the house. According to Dyer, Grayscale Bitcoin Investment Trust now holds over 200,000 BTC for its institutional investor clientele. With 17.4 million BTC currently in circulation, this means that Grayscale's Bitcoin investors now own about 1% of the circulating supply. So you mean to tell me these people, as we plummet, as Bitcoin plummets into oblivion, these people are still buying Bitcoin? Are they nuts? I don't think so. The figure also puts Grayscale at the top of the institutional BTC investment arena. Despite the year-long bear market, it appears that the firm established by Digital Currency Group, DCG, in 2013 continues to add to its Bitcoin position on a monthly basis. GBTC earns a 2% annual fee on investor holdings. Dang. So it makes sense to see the company helping investors double down on their BTC holdings. It makes sense that they're like, keep buying. 2% annual fee on investor holdings. That's not bad. Apart from Grayscale, other institutional investors also seem to be expanding their BTC stakes. Yeah, I know who else is expanding their LTC stakes. Poseidon Lou in the chat right there. I guarantee you he's expanding his stakes. Back in mid-November, when the first wave of price drops occurred, Matty Greenspan reported that eToro clients marginally increased their holdings. And you can see it. Like, here's the Bitcoin hold scale. And you can see that increase right there. So we're in the middle of like this bear market. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the last 25% of its end. I don't know. Hopefully towards the end of the bear market. But either way, look at the uptick in holdings. That says a lot in terms of institutional investors. John Red with a $2.99 super chat. John Red, thank you so much for that donation. Totally unnecessary, man. I just love having you around. I appreciate you doing that, though. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, there you saw a little uptick in holdings from eToro clients. I did want to cover this. This is part of the article. Ethereum. I'm kind of curious, and I'll throw this out there right now. We have a little over 100 people in here. Ethereum. Are you accumulating Ethereum? I have to say, I might start accumulating a little bit of Ethereum. Not so much, it's not even so much a thing of, I believe in Ethereum. Technically, I'm really behind it, the project. It's more of just, I think it's almost time for monetary sake. Ethereum whales are buying to hold. The accumulation of major cryptocurrencies isn't only limited to Bitcoin, however, according to Dyer. Also, Ethereum whales, i.e. big money investors with low time preference, have acquired more Ethereum in 2018 than any other year in the cryptocurrency's history. That's pretty impressive. What's up, tech lords? Like in the case of GBTC, these investors own a significant portion of the total circulating supply of Ether, about 20 million ETH or 20% of the total ETH in circulation. Press 1 right now. Just press 1 if you have Ethereum you're holding, or if you're accumulating Ethereum. I'm very curious to know. Press 1. What's up, John Moore? What's up, man? Crypto Man with a 1. Walt, look at all the ones. Ethereum, I have to say, not many people talking about Ethereum, at least in my little, circle on Twitter that I'm in. It's very Bitcoin, Litecoin, but why don't look at all these ones coming in. We've got some people. John Moore. We've got some people. John Moore even is holding some Ethereum. Bitcoin Greenbox says, I'm still mining, so that's to those of you who turned off your rigs. So, Luminary Winds, I guess, is calling for a $48 ETH. What's up, Australia? D Aussie. What's up? Thank you for coming by. Tech Lord says, isn't this a Bitcoin and Litecoin channel? I don't know, Tech. I don't know, man. Ethereum's looking sweeter and sweeter to me. I have to say, I own a little, but I haven't jumped in that much, but I'm thinking about it. My finger's like on that trigger. We might be covering some Ethereum on this channel. It could make for some good technical analysis, I think. So some points about Grayscale. This is an older article. I mean, not too old. It's like a month old. But just some really good points that I just want to pivot off of. Crypto investment firm Grayscale rakes in $330 million this year despite Bitcoin bear markets. The New York-based firm raised a record $330 million this year, mostly from institutional investors. That's more than 13 times its fundraising total from this time last year and the most in its 5-year history. Bitcoin's 55% price drop, presents a more affordable entry point compared to with the $19,000 price tag last December, Grayscale executives say. You think? Investors are taking the pullback as an opportunity to increase their exposure, says Michael Sonnenschein, managing director of Grayscale Investments, which manages $1.5 billion in customer assets. So, what's up, Ramos? What's up, Mauro? So here's the thing. This is just one little glimpse in the arena of big money and institutional money coming in. And you have these managers that are managing, billions of dollars, and they're basically pretty simply saying this bear market presents a great opportunity to accumulate. And we just saw it even in Matty Greenspan's this little image. I can try and zoom in. This uptick, people accumulating, and these managers are encouraging accumulation. Not just now that we're like below 6,000 for Bitcoin, and we're below 5,000 for Bitcoin. Not just now, but they've been this entire bear market encouraging their clients, their customers to accumulate. If Bitcoin falls lower, if Litecoin falls over, whatever, they're going to continue encouraging their clients to accumulate. It is because this market is getting primed for an incredible break, in my opinion. So just remember that. And there's so many other firms out there. There's so many others that you can read about. And if you want to start thinking less emotionally, and you want to start thinking more like a business, more like, I always say, think like a VC. If you want to start thinking like that, go read about some of these. Go read about Grayscale and what they're doing. Go read about what they're telling their customers. It's not secret information. There is a lot of money scooping up Bitcoin right now, and there's a reason for that. So it's sometimes good to get that perspective, and that was a little glimpse of it. I also want to talk about Bitcoin Lightning Network, because then we can pivot over from the hype of it all. We can pivot from like the hype of it all, from the investment opportunity of it all, the big money coming in, talking about all-time highs maybe one day, so we can really start talking about now, well, what's the foundation to it all? What's the point, right? This isn't just a get rich quick thing. There's actually some things happening, and Lightning Network is a huge part of that. And we I don't talk about it a lot on this channel just because I do a lot of technical analysis. But here's a nice little article I just read from today. Bitcoin's Lightning Network gets exposed to 300 plus merchants. Incoming wave of adoption and BTC scalability. I'm sure John Moore, who's in the chat, I'm sure he saw this. I'm actually kind of curious. So I have like this stream replaying on my other computer. It looks a little blurry. Can you guys, is the quality okay here on this live stream? Let me know. Because it's looking a little blurry. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Bitfury, a blockchain technology service company, recently announced that they would be partnering with a payment services company known as Paytomat. This partnership is focused on bringing payments on the Lightning Network to Paytomat's wallet and merchant apps. The Lightning Network has long been called unfinished and not suitable solution for scaling the Bitcoin blockchain. That's true. We see that all the time. People saying, not even close. However, partnerships such as this demonstrate that the solution works and can be used in real-world scenarios. So we got a little bit blurry. I don't like that. That's not good. I have to figure that out. I apologize for the blurriness. Is Bitcoin Ben still live? I thought he was done. That's kind of why I went live. The technology is said to bring higher transaction throughput to the Bitcoin chain as an upgrade from its current 5 to 7 transactions per second. Moreover, it will also reduce the fees that become exorbitant upon the clogging of the network, as the Lightning Network is mainly focused on micropayments. The head The head of this team, Pavel, stated on partnership, the launch of the Lightning Network allows consumers around the world to use cryptocurrencies to make everyday purchases. Through partnerships like Paytomat, we are one step closer to making every point of service terminal cryptocurrency friendly and Lightning Network enabled. So this is just, this is one partnership. This is one happening within the Lightning Network realm of getting that merchant adoption. Here's another article. Now, this is from yesterday. Lightning Network in full swing. You can buy coffee with Bitcoin instantly. It's referencing something that was already posted back in September, but I did want to bring it up because I always like to refocus my own attention to what's happening tech-wise, and Lightning Network is definitely a big part of that. About 2 months back, Ricardo Rice created a mock-up vending machine for Coke that accepts payments in Bitcoin through Lightning Network. A customer just had to scan a QR code to make the payment through her Lightning-enabled wallets. And here's the video. I'm going to play it real quick. I'm very self-conscious right now. The fact that the video quality is so bad right now. I don't know why it's doing that. I don't think the last live stream did that. John Moore says, the wallets are getting better and better all the time for Lightning Network. Once it's needed, it will be used a lot more. Right now, Litecoin Network can handle 100 times the current throughput. John Moore definitely knows his stuff. Hold on one second, everybody, please. Just one second. I want to try and see if I can update the video. It doesn't let me right now while I'm streaming. But I think I see why the quality is not that great. Okay, so here's a video. I'm just going to play it real quick.
So now we get QR code, and let's try to scan it in our application. And pay it.
Well, that was noisy and obnoxious, but you get the drift. And it reminds me very much of at the Litecoin Summit, I was live streaming. Now, this wasn't the Lightning Network, but it was Litecoin. It was Litecoin. You can actually buy, see that? You can buy candy with Litecoin. So, that alone just speaks to Litecoin, even without Lightning Network. When I actually demonstrated that, I think on another video, and it was almost instant when I scanned the code. The Skittles just came pouring out, and I tasted the rainbow. I did taste the rainbow, but this usability, right? Scanning a QR code. John Moore is always posting. He's in the chat, but he's always posting on Twitter. He's always posting about setting up restaurants with a tip QR code on the little book that you get your check in. Things of that nature is where you're going to see massive crypto adoption. Massive. And when the Lightning Network is implemented and integrated into these processes, you're going to start slowly seeing the integration of Bitcoin into the world every day. You're going to go into a random restaurant you might have gone into your whole life, and all of a sudden you're going to see Bitcoin accepted here, because it's going to start being not just infiltrated like through, because the restaurant owner is just long on Bitcoin, but you're going to have payment processors. You're going to have people like John Moore getting these restaurants set up with this payment solution. And it's going to happen more and more. And I definitely would recommend, if you're on Twitter, follow John Moore on Twitter. Look him up, John Moore, and follow him, because he knows his stuff payments-wise, and payments is such a big part of it. And he just said Litecoin, Bitcoin, and the Lightning Network will revolutionize the vending industry. Right now, it's very difficult to process a credit card on a $2 transaction, and that's just one little piece of it. So, I'm no pro in payments. That's why I suggest following John Moore. But he posts great videos. He shows you what's going on the inside, and that literally is a little sneak peek into adoption, and that's important if you really want to understand what's happening here. So those are just, some pieces of news I wanted to cover on this live stream. Now we can pivot over to the charts. I want to throw this out there. If you're on the live stream, I did do a video earlier, Bitcoin technical analysis. We talked about, a few different things, namely momentum oscillators. We talked about potentially breaking the wedge, this falling wedge that we're going to look at in a second. And I really just briefly wanted to go over that. And also I wanted to look at Litecoin and Litecoin's chart in reference to that as well. So here is the Bitcoin chart that we talked about earlier. Look, I didn't even take the time to clean up the chart from earlier. Talk about lazy, dude. Man, I need to step up my game. So let's use so this is a September. We're on the 4-hour chart. Let's go here. So this is a 4-hour Bitcoin chart. So here's the wedge that we talked about earlier. And maybe if you missed the video earlier, if you saw it earlier, I guess you can dip out, you can leave because this might bore you. But if you want to show some love before you leave, press the like button. But we talked about this wedge earlier, and there's some clear synergy between Litecoin that we're going to talk about. And I'm not drawing these lines perfectly. I'm kind of just breezing through it. But two things I want to reference and just show you. This is something you can look out for, especially leading into tomorrow. I'm probably not going to be doing a video. I'll be traveling all day. But we have these two higher highs, right? Or I'm sorry, lower highs here in this wedge formation, falling wedge. And both times we did not find support at the very critical 50 EMA. 2 times, 2 losses at the 50 EMA. Who needs to be banned? Oh, man. I don't know how to ban somebody. There, I think I did it. So 2 rejections, 50 EMA. We all know 50 EMA is a very critical point on the 4-hour chart in terms of finding that momentum, switching to the upside. We need to get a break above it first off, but then more critically, we need to see support above it, right? So that we can start getting a swing in the 50 EMA like that. That hasn't happened. I likened this though to back in, and I'll zoom out a little here, back in March and April. And I definitely want to paint this picture for reference because I think it helps us have something to look for. Here it is. All right. So here's a very similar formation. It's not a falling wedge, it's a symmetrical triangle that we got on not as much of a dip, but a pretty big dip in Bitcoin back in March and April. So here we go. Now we just talked about these lower highs in this formation, right? And again, the same exact thing happened when we got a really big dip back in March and April. We had a potential break through the 50 EMA, fail for the first time, potential break again, fail for the second time, and then we hit our bottom, so we have a symmetrical triangle formed, and then we actually touched the 50 EMA again, and we got what we needed. We got that break through the 4-hour on the 50 EMA. And there's that critical break. And you can see what happened to the 50 EMA on the 4-hour is we finally turned on the upside. We even got a 50 EMA cross above the 200 EMA. And we had a nice little run up to like $10,000, if you remember, in the springtime. So coming back to where we are now, this is exactly the type of thing we want to look out for right now on this 4-hour chart. And we're so close to getting an answer here. That's why I'm covering this. I really want to give you something to watch, especially tomorrow. I'm not going to be here doing a technical analysis video. But what I'm looking for, and when we did the video earlier, we were right around here at the bottom of the wedge, slightly above it. So what I'm looking for now is obviously continued support at the bottom of this wedge. We don't want to break to the downside. Our target to the downside is, around $3,200, the height of this wedge. But what we want to see is are we going to get a bounce here off the bottom of this wedge to test again this 50 EMA? And I really want to see what happens on this third test. Will we get a similar breakout like we did in the spring when we tested that 50 EMA on those lower highs on Bitcoin? And will we get a break? And will we get our target break to around $4,600 at this point? So that's really what I'm looking for. That's what I'm watching on the shorter term, on the 4-hour. And we can pivot to Litecoin. And what you see is a little bit different looking chart, but in its current formation, a very similar chart as Bitcoin. And when I say that, what I mean is really, and this is not perfect again, falling wedge, right? But where we saw a little bit of a difference between Bitcoin and Litecoin was before Litecoin entered, hold on one second, before Litecoin entered this new falling wedge that it's in that is synergistic with Bitcoin, and now I'm on the 4-hour Litecoin chart. Before it entered this area, it was trading a little bit differently than Bitcoin was. It had some different formations that we were trying to track alongside Bitcoin, and I think we did. But it had some different patterns forming. So what's good now is we kind of have a very similar pattern forming. That is to say, we have these lower highs, we have these lower lows, we have a clear wedge, we have the 50 EMA that we're really looking to hit. But if we take our price range and we look at how far are we from this falling wedge on the 4-hour, from that 50 EMA on the falling wedge, we're 8.5% from the 50 EMA. Let's go back to Bitcoin and see how far away we are. And we're around 7.5%. So again, really clear synergy. So if you want to watch Bitcoin, watch Bitcoin. If you want to watch Litecoin, watch Bitcoin. That's really what I'm saying. We do know that Bitcoin and Litecoin very much move harmoniously. And so, you kind of really want to use Bitcoin as a foundation. Now, in terms of LTC, BTC, I always like to take a glance at the chart. We can go to the daily. We had a little bit of a rise, right? In the last week it was. And you can see we got clear rejection yet again at the 50 EMA. Boom. So, and I was totally just watching. It's been the story for so long now, for months, right? This is going back to April. Clear rejection at the 50 EMA, resistance at the 50 EMA. And, until we actually break above that 50 EMA on the daily chart for LTC, BTC, I don't think Litecoin's going to have its time to shine. And that's okay. Especially, I'm not really anticipating that happening in a bear market. I think that time is going to come. I think it's going to be wild. I think it's going to be crazy. I know there's a lot of Litecoin lovers out there, but we're not there yet. And this is just a perfect sign. Litecoin was just kind of, it set up for a good trade. If you were trading LTC, BTC, you could anticipate some strong resistance here. And, if you were accumulating down here, good. You had some nice gains. We can even measure that. We're talking, 15% or so. So that's pretty much it. We have No Name says, I've been buying the dip for 11 months. You and a lot of other people, including very big, large institutional investors, doing the same. Big VCs doing the same. And I definitely don't hold it against you. Ari Edson says 0 is the bottom. So Ari Edson is anticipating a move like this. I don't see that happening. I really don't. But thanks for your input. Perry Levi says the real dip is coming. And we can end on that note. We can talk about that for a second because that's important to anticipate and be ready for that. The real dip, right? If our range that we've been talking about on this channel for a while, this $5,500, $3,500 range is broken, right? And we break below $3,500, just buckle up. Just get ready. I don't know what your approach is in terms of accumulation. I kind of talk about my approach on this channel, so some of you know. I did a video the other day talking about $2,500 and why that might be a potential really strong target for Bitcoin, and mainly that is based on this overextension from the 200 EMA on the daily chart, right? $2,500 brings us over 60% overextended. I just want to, for reference, tell you in that last bear market, the bottom was around 58% overextended from the 200 EMA. We're getting close, right? $2,500 is only around $1,300 away. So in my opinion, can we go to $2,500? Heck yeah, definitely we can see that price. If we do, in my opinion, that is an incredible opportunity. But that's my opinion. This is my approach to the market. I've been accumulating in the dips, right? I was accumulating around $6,000. I'm not going to pretend I was waiting for this dip, but I was accumulating with the mindset of we could fall into this bottom range that we were talking about and anticipating, and so I was ready to accumulate even heavier in these ranges. And like that, I'm also 100% ready to accumulate below that. This is money that I can afford to lose. This is money I choose to invest for my future. This is because I believe in the technology. This is because I believe in the cryptocurrency space. This space is not going anywhere. This technology is not going anywhere. It's just going to get better. It's going to get stronger, and there will be more eyes on it. And we're talking big money eyes, big money coming in. And the fact that we've had like 80% to the downside this year is one of the most incredible opportunities for many people. And it's sad to see so many haters out there, not only hating on entrepreneurs and long-term investors, but hating on the fact that they're just completely in denial that this is a good opportunity. And I think that's foolish, in my opinion. You know, the chances, in my opinion, that Bitcoin goes anywhere are very slim. As we know, as an investor, there's always potential for anything to happen. Something horrible could happen. I get it, and we all could lose our money. All these VCs could go out of business and lose their money as well. So if you're not operating with that at least thing in the back of your head, that mindset in the back of your head, you should second guess that. It's definitely good to have a little bit of fear in you, but not the type of FUD fear, right? Not the type of FUD fear. That doesn't do anybody good, and neither does FOMO, right? FOMO and FUD, no on this channel. So Carlos Garza says, maybe we're the ones in denial. Are we in denial? I don't know. I can tell you my crypto recruiting firm is doing awesome. It's thriving. Recruiting is a tough business in and of itself. I don't think it would be thriving if the space wasn't doing amazing. And I think it's doing well because the space is doing amazing. Even though the price is down, that doesn't mean anything. It really does not mean anything. And if you research VCs and you see the way they operate, you'll understand that price is kind of an afterthought, right? It's very important to take a hold of opportunity as it exists, because I guarantee you, I don't care if we bounce off of $1,200 down here, we're going to get a turn in the market. And I guarantee you, if we get a turn in the market and we're breaking $10,000 and then we're breaking $20,000 and then we're hitting all-time highs and we're at $40,000, I guarantee you will have a completely different tone in terms of cryptocurrency. The news will be covering it differently. Your friends will be talking about it differently. And people just follow the trend, right? It is more powerful to go against the trend. It is more powerful to just jump into the fear and invest when there's fear and when people are hating. And it's more powerful to build a business in an atmosphere that is doubted by so many. It makes the opportunity that much better. And I'm telling you, this is the opportunity of a lifetime if you're an entrepreneur, for so many reasons outside of just buying Bitcoin. There are so many business opportunities within this space. There are so many areas to innovate, to get creative, to try things that you just always wanted to try but never thought of a way to do it. Cryptocurrency is a doorway to build your brand, to do things that you want to do, to try things you want to try. It's full of people doing that. It's full of people that have never even been entrepreneurs before trying these new things. And it's working, right? You see it out there. So those are my thoughts. That's my thought on Bitcoin, on Litecoin, on cryptocurrency. Time for me to go, pack, try and relax. I have to get up early, get on a plane. Oh man, I don't like planes. I really don't. Perry Levi says the rocket is being built. I agree. I agree. So those are my thoughts. Time for me to go pack. You all are awesome. Thanks for coming and hang out with me on what is it, Wednesday? It's a Wednesday night. Hopefully the quality of this video got a little bit better. But I appreciate everybody that came by. I really do. You guys are awesome. If you're in here with, which I know 50% of you watching right now are not subscribed. My analytics tells me. I don't know what I got to do to get a subscription from you to get you to subscribe, but hit that subscribe button. Come on. It's going to be fun when we enter the bull market. I promise this channel is going to be on fire. We're going to do some sick things. I promise. I promise. So hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button on your way out. As always, I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome night and God bless.